Welcome to VEDA Communications. My name is Michael Thurber, photojournalist and sociologist. Today we're talking about Job Corps and the cuts that are coming from the federal government. Today we have a panel of guests, 3 exactly, who are, what did you say, success stories from the Job Corps organization. Your name, ma'am?
Hello everyone, my name is Mimi Money. Everyone knows me as Miosha. I am a media personality here in Houston, Texas from 95.3 Jams Radio, and I'm also a community advocate for voters' rights as well.
Sir?
I'm Todd the barber, local barbershop owner. Been in the industry for 20 plus years. I'm also big in the community with the youth, with youth sports and having back to school drives as well.
And sir?
I'm Mario Iglehart. I go by Silent to the Mouth. I'm a businessman, especially with the vending machine business.
Okay. Anything else? Because it sounded like he was getting ready to say
That's
something
it.
else. You
That's
sure?
it. That's it.
Okay. Well, listen, it seems like even though you guys are success stories from the Job Corps program, there is a special thing that's happening right now with these cuts.
Correct.
And it seems that you guys have been deeply affected by these particular cuts from the federal government. And we're just going to go down this panel here. How do you feel about it?
Well, one thing I do feel strongly about it, it's, you know, even though I'm a product of that program at one point in time, 2006, maybe 5, maybe 4. It's been a long time, but I want to say around that time area. I do believe it affects more of the future and our future, youth in regards to it. Of course, like you just mentioned, I am a success story. I was in business office technology.
Wow.
As well too, and even coming out of that program, that not only just taught me, skills as far as job skills. It also just taught me responsibility. It trained me up just something as simple as making up my bed the proper way, and cleaning properly and washing dishes and things of that nature as well too. It just showed me more structure, especially with the time area that I came in. I believe I was 16 at the time. Most kids are still in school and trying to finish up their education and finish up schooling and high school and thinking about their future for college or maybe their next career. For me, that was a little different. But it was great because I got a chance to not only be exposed to different cultures or environments and things of that nature, but different age brackets as well too. It showed me a sense of maturity, as far as, being a 16-year-old at that point in time. It showed me how to, be more responsible, time management, things of that nature as well too. So that was just my experience at that time at the age of 16. Afterwards, I think I graduated, I believe I was 18 at that time. So it pretty much prepped me ahead of time more than my peers that were graduating from school.
Gotcha. And sir?
Well, for me, my experience at Job Corps was basically based off of all of the things that it provided. So Job Corps is like high school. It's like a military school, boot camp. It's like college. It's so much all in one.
Okay.
What she was saying, like with the making of the bed and stuff like that. Like I totally agree with what she said.
Okay.
Job Corps taught me how to tackle tasks right away. So one of the first things we had to do every day in Job Corps, a part of our disciplinary, was you had to make your bed.
Dorm detail.
Every day, general detail. You had to do general detail. You had to make your bed with California corners. Most people don't know how to do that. So it's a certain way you have to prepare your bed.
Okay.
That taught me when I come home to a comfortable bed. And not only that, there are other details that they teach you throughout the course of the day that gives you that stability, that gives you that structure that you need throughout daily life. Because most people, they get up and they don't do the same task every day.
This is true.
The first task I complete every day, and I still do it to this day, I make my bed.
Wow.
And
how long has it been, if you don't mind me asking? Since like the graduation of Job Corps?
I left Job Corps 06.
It's been about 20-something years.
20 plus years.
Wow.
So a lot of the things that Job Corps provided for me, I still use today in everyday tactics. One of the things that Job Corps also taught me was how to be able to interact with people from all likes of life. All over the world, because there are students from everywhere that comes to the campus. We had the largest campus in in Job Corps, we went to San Marcos.
Okay.
So we housed the most population. I think the population is anywhere between 12 to 1,500, somewhere up in there.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. So it's a small community. It's almost like being at a university, and you have the alumni and things like that. And we are alumni of Job Corps. We all still keep in touch through a Facebook group that we have, and sometimes we gather together throughout the years, and we'll have like little gatherings. And
Now that's special.
Yeah.
That is special. And you, sir?
It just taught me how to do my job. You know, well, back then, before I was working at jobs, but before then, I didn't know how to do my job good enough. Also, it gave me multiple options for multiple jobs that I could possibly do.
Okay.
I took 2 trades. So I have my A+ certification in computers, and then I also took security.
Okay.
And I've been doing security ever since. But it also taught me to manage my money, also to invest my money in things that would probably give me an advantage in life.
I would say, I didn't mean to cut you off with that one. I think that investment in money management is such a powerful piece, because even in the quote unquote free world or regular public schools and even private schools, they're not teaching money management and financial literacy there.
Correct.
And you guys are getting that from the Job Corps
Well, yeah,
program.
Job Corps is going to definitely do
And it taught us that because at the end of the day, after you graduate, you have to live by yourself. So then it taught us to have a stable home, taught us to be able to take care of ourselves,
For real.
maintain our bills, budget, work with any of the jobs that we got. A job increase meant you made more money, but then you had 401k. Then you
Right.
had all that. So you learned a lot of things from Gary Job Corps, but it also gave us the freedom to be adults on the campus. Because we also got to go off of campus.
Really?
So on Saturdays and Sundays, we could go off of campus and live like a normal adult was.
Yeah.
And then on holidays or the summertime, we could go off of campus. Some people stayed on campus to visit their families. Some people stayed for vacations.
Okay.
So Gary Job Corps had a lot of lessons to learn, and you could, if you just being on that campus, if you could pick up anything on that campus, it was an advantage to get you ahead.
I'm bouncing right back. I'm gonna transition to the next, segment. But what was your specialty, or quote unquote major? Please excuse my ignorance. While you were there, what did you
I
specialize
believe
in?
it was career. What's it called, a career? Well, no, CPP was career preparation.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I guess our trade at that point.
Yes, trade.
So business office technology.
Okay.
So mine was pretty much skilling you at that time. Of course, time has really excelled when it came to technology. Of course, we have smartphones and things
Yeah.
of that nature that does everything. AI that does everything. But at that time, before there was AI, there was, of course, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, things of that nature, the whole Microsoft Office. So it kind of gave you that entry level of the computer system.
Gotcha.
And websites and how to do graphics and things of that nature as well too. Also, it showed you how to, I guess you could say, do a lot of administration work when it came to data entry and things of that nature as well.
Okay,
So,
and your trade, sir?
I was in this exact same trade. I was in
Wow.
business office and technology, nickname BOT, what we call it.
Okay, BOT.
I had an instructor by the name of Margaret White. She was very inspirational to me at the time. She actually she took me under her wing and basically molded me into the guy that I am. She had me doing a lot of internships, so we would go off campus, and I was doing internships for companies and stuff like that. Some of them I don't really remember, but I know my class was the class we were creating the barcodes.
Okay.
So we were a part of the development of learning the barcodes and what everybody used today, as far as like shipping and packaging with
Okay,
mails and
logistics.
stuff like that. So I'm from that generation of the first generation with the data entry levels with Microsoft Excel and PowerPoints and slideshows. So I did a lot of off-campus work, and I would go to warehouses and teach the staff members
So
of
you
that company.
guys got hands-on
Yeah.
experience in the real world
Yeah.
setting.
correct.
And it was very, very impactful.
I have to say that, them cutting funding for such a program where you're getting, real world applicable skill sets, and you're able to demonstrate that for grade, of course, and also for pay. High school students that are going to public university, not university, but public schools, they're not getting that at all.
And not only that, funding is being cut out for the high school as well, high school students and middle school students as well, as far as their curriculum, and also extracurricular activities as well too, such as football funding, funding for different types of athletic sports, and even something as simple as chess. In certain cities and certain counties as well too. So it's not just affecting outside of when you graduate. It's also before you even get to that next level of completion when your education, it's affecting that as well.
How did it impact your life as far as discipline and goals and everything like that?
I would say for the most part, for me, it made me more disciplined financially.
Okay.
It made it where I didn't take advantage of a job. Some people go in and they get a job and they get hired and they don't even learn the skills that are in the job. For me, I actually learned those skills in my job.
Okay.
I held my job to a standard where basically I did my job the best I could, even with security that I'm doing, right? For example, I would read the rule book that way so I knew everything about my job. So I would never cross any lines, but at the same time, keep myself safe in the security field.
Gotcha.
That was one good example. You know, I would say for right now, man, it's made my life better. I'm enjoying living in Houston. I've been here since 2011. Love my home, love my area that I'm in. All I could say it's made my life a little bit easier. I've even went back to college because some of the skills that I had pertain to the music industry.
Okay.
A good example is I used to do CST, where we do fix computers.
All right, now, for those that are listening, can you explain what CST is?
Computer service technician.
Okay.
So CST, we used to put computers and take them apart and put them back together. And we also used to do motherboards where we solder.
Really?
But check this out. Now in the music industry and for HCC, they're teaching a soldering class on how to fix equipment. But I already know how to do that.
Okay.
Because I already learned it in CST.
Now, here's a question for you. Will they let you skip that class since you already have like that knowledge base and you've actually done it?
Unfortunately, no.
No,
Okay, I just have that.
Again, going back to what we were originally saying, we have knowledge from 20 some odd years ago, and technology has greatly improved since then. So, you know, if I could skip a few things, if I could skip a few grades, I would. But again, things have changed along the way for the better anyway.
Okay.
So unfortunately, you kind of got to go back to your roots and go back to what you know as well.
But I will say it was easier to pass the class. I was ahead of my class for that.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
What about you, sir?
Man, Job Corps impacted me in so many different ways. I come from a large family. My grandmother had 14 children.
Wow.
I got 9 aunties, and they all tight. They close. So a lot of my cousins were my siblings, and I grew up in a time where times were very hard. So I was grown early. So when I got to Job Corps, man, I had so much dysfunction, just with my approach toward life in general.
Okay.
So when I got the stability that Job Corps provided for me, I didn't have to worry about having a roof over my head or having somewhere to sleep for the night, because I was homeless all 4 years in high school.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
But you know what's like very peculiar about that is that there are a lot of homeless teens, a lot of homeless students in this country in general.
And there's going to be a lot of kids that's going to be homeless if Job Corps is not around.
Correct.
One campus was saying something about as close to the tens of thousands of students that don't have nowhere to go.
Wow.
Nowhere to, not even a family to reach out to. Fortunately for me, I had family, but with the hardship that I was growing up, when I got to Job Corps, it taught me so many different things. It taught me how to see life from other people's families. It also taught me how to approach the work community. Like he was saying, how he read the rule book. That's a thing that Job Corps teaches you. It teaches you to break down the narrative of everything in that trade, so you can have all of the ins and outs of that trade.
Okay.
So that's something that they teach us, and they teach us that in the beginning part. So you have to go through a probationary period in Job Corps before they even allow you to be on campus.
6 weeks.
Wow.
4 to 6 weeks,
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks, or something
6
like
to 8
that. Something
weeks.
like that. So you go through this probationary period where you're not even allowed to
Go with the rest of the students.
The campus be allowed
The general
the general population. That's what they call it. The general population. That's the word.
Career preparation.
Career preparation.
CPP, there you go.
So they call it career preparation. So you
came
go
back
through
to
this, and then once you finish that program, they release you out. So they basically are molding you into the work person that you need to be in whatever work field you are, way before you even select a trade. So once you get to that trade, the instructors are very hands-on. Like, they're gonna work with you at your skill level. And like she was saying, most kids today, they don't get that. They don't get that hands-on and really developing the children to be the leaders of tomorrow.
That was really something, because there's just two things I want to add to that. It was one, we have a deficit of people who can actually do something in this economy that we have. We have a shortage of people who don't know what it's like to work in a factory, who don't have a trade at all, other than simply being able to be on YouTube and do content creation or whatever the case may be. So that what the skills that Job Corps has instilled in you is something that I see that every child, teenage, 13, 10 years old, they need that all throughout their teenage years. So when they get out of there, they can actually do something other than nothing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Wow, what about you?
So how Job Corps impacted me in a more positive way, again, I could only go from that time that I was there at 16. So being a 16-year-old coming out of high school into a environment like that, like I said, it developed me very swift, very fast. Showed me a sense of maturity, because again, you have children, or you have people there from 16 all the way up until 24.
Okay.
So I had to get with the program very fast. I had no time for playing.
How did you like navigate that? How did you adapt to that?
Oh, they gonna make you.
Yeah, they're gonna make you, or you're gonna get left behind. That's just bottom line. You know what I'm saying? They're like, again, being around more people that are more mature or experienced, or some of them, you know, they've already graduated.
And
They've graduated high school and they've came back, because again, you have, you know, 20 up to age 24. So you've already been out. Some of them have already been out there in the work field, and again, you have people from all types of levels, all types of ages, all types of cultures and things of that nature. So one culture may already, you know, they may already be, their family may already own businesses and things of that sort. So it's what you really make of it. And me, I had some great people around me. Made some great friends, good mentors. I just had a problem, as a 16-year-old does, and I will admit this, my mouth. Mouth and my temper, you know, it happens, but it was just my mouth, my temper, my attitude. But again, if you're around the right people that can help you develop and coach you and kind of, you know, wing you in and say, hey, I don't think you need to talk to that person over there. They don't do that.
They do that a lot.
They don't play like that. But again, if you know, you have to kind of get in where you fit in. So it blossomed me a lot. It showed me a sense of discipline. It showed me a sense of responsibility, prioritizing. You have to prioritize.
Yeah,
there's
you
no.
You gotta be on your game.
You there's no playtime.
No running late.
There's
There's
no playtime.
Running late in Job Corps. You got to be. That's the military part of it.
Okay.
And a lot of things people don't understand is that Job Corps have so many trades that guys just don't know. They got welding, they got HVAC,
and we need welders. We can't find HVAC personnel.
They got human resources. They have so many trades that are everyday life today. They got CDL, they got CNA and MMA, they got culinary schools. They have so many trades, and we use these things on a daily basis.
Every day, and whether you know it or not, you're going to use it. I didn't go to welding, but you better believe if something goes down in the household, I'm gonna have to figure out how to put it together.
Well,
I didn't go to school.
The good thing about
for certain things like that.
Right.
And
the good thing
these
about
are everyday
it is,
skills that you're gonna have to use.
I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Go ahead, Kanye.
The good thing about it is, the good thing about it is every trade on that campus kept that campus running. So, for example, you had a security trade that watched all the students.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you learn security. Mm-hmm. You had a welding trade that fixed all the stuff that's on campus. Anything that needed to be welded on campus was done.
So it was self-sustaining.
Yeah, it's a self-sustaining system.
You had CNA. CNA was all the people that work in the nursing field. They had a doctor on there. So if you need any work done on Gary, which was free, all work.
It would probably be your classmate.
It'd be a classmate.
All right, that is pretty intimate. I'm quite sure that, you know, do you guys call it sick call? Because I'm military, we call it sick call.
They have sick calls. They got AWOL. They got the same terminologies.
Okay, so when you guys go to sick call, that classmate that was probably sitting in back of you was probably going to be the one that's like hooking you up while you're there.
The classmate that probably started with you, because we had that program, CPP. So everyone had different trades. But we were there to learn the same thing within that 6 to 8 week process. Career building.
So if all of us went to Job Corps together, that's that class. So from that 6 to 8 week probation, you will only see the group of people you came in. So I came in with a group of 73. So for 6 to 8 weeks, I was stuck with these people, and they were going crazy.
I'm quite sure people want to like hear about that. Like when you say going crazy, like what do you mean by that?
Well,
everybody wanted to actually get out to find
the population.
So I think I remember mine. 04/27/04. So that's that was the day I went in. So April 27th, 2004. There we go. Now I remember. So 04/27/04. So everybody who entered in that same day, and like he said, he had 70. I think I had like maybe 68 or something like that. So everyone within that classroom or that class went into that 8 week program, 6 to 8 week program, and afterwards, once you were done, that's where your career choice academics or your career choice started. So now you're with thousands, the rest of the population. So before you even go straight in, you have to go through this process, kind of like what do they call it when you are
like a recruiting process?
Like when you're going through the recruitment process.
The tour, they basically take you on a tour of the campus, and they show you all of the different trades, and then you get to select which trade you want to take. And then they got academics, they have GED, and they have the college program.
Military term when you're going through your training process.
Basic.
So think of it as a basic training.
Yeah.
And then after basic training, you're with the rest of the.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of what it was.
And then that's another thing about the campus. After you learned your trade, you had time to relax. They had a basketball court. They had a pool hall where basically you could shoot pool, play video games. I mean,
we had free time. We had recess.
Right.
Something like that.
Did you go to something
like that? We had all that after class. We had our
Friday night. They had the dance battle.
Friday night.
I've never seen a dance battle in my life, and I was on there just amazing. It's an amazing experience.
Think about you got served times 10.
Times 10, for sure.
Yeah.
So my eyebrows like really
it was a great experience.
And I was on the basketball team. So.
You got a basketball team.
So we played JUCOs in Division III schools and Division II, some small schools like San Felipe, Austin Community College and stuff like. We would play teams like that. We usually spank those guys because there's a lot of kids that in Job Corps are very talented, and they just had unfortunate situations. And, man, it's a lot of kids, man. They're also phenomenal people coming out of there.
Yeah, I was I did cheerleading, I did drill team.
You?
Yeah. I did drill team. So I had the best of both worlds. I was a little sugar and spice and everything nice. I think I did a little bit of volleyball as well too. So like they had things for you to do on campus. They had and I was prom princess too. So yeah, we had prom.
Really?
We had Gary.
We had prom. I got pictures.
See how he lit up on that one, right?
Gary prom. So yeah, I was the princess that year. I think it was 2005 if I'm not 2005 if I'm not mistaken.
Why do I feel like I missed out?
I mean, it was the place to be. I swear it was the place to be.
You know what? The good thing about the one thing I can say, even though I was in talent show, the one thing I can say about Gary is it was the best place. Like
for real.
Some of us, if they made an adult Gary Job Corps, we would go
back. I'm going back.
We'd go back.
The memories you make, the friends you make.
Yeah.
And these are lifetime for you. Lifetime.
Yeah.
Like we don't see each other, but. Man, call me. What's up? And we linking up because we know what we've been through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get to where we are. Because you have to be strong at Job Corps to get to the next level.
You got to be strong.
You got to be strong. And so that the character of person they're building is gonna be good.
Wow. And I will say Gary is what you make it. If you take advantage of the advantages that were up there, you could really make something of yourself in your life.
I think you guys are very inspirational. I don't care what anybody say because people can look at Job Corps and kind of frown or do whatever it is they do or think whatever they think, but at the end of the day, you guys took an initiative to go someplace that you don't know anything about, to make something out of yourself under tremendous pressure. That's amazing.
I want to add to that too, and thank you very much. I want to add to that too. I volunteered to go.
Okay.
I volunteered to go. I didn't know what Job Corps was until I got there.
Okay.
And for the age that I was in, from 16 and 17, normally they get ordered to go there because they're
Define order.
court ordered.
Right.
Wow.
There's
Okay.
a lot of them in there.
Court ordered to go there
I
because they are, either unfortunately troubled children, or they had a lot
At
going
risk.
on at risk children, children that have been in crisis situations, things of that nature, maybe juvenile as well. I actually wanted to go for multiple reasons.
Why?
Well, the main reason because I'm just gonna be honest. Let's break the ice right now.
Thank you.
I was a preacher's kid, so those rules and those stipulations, I just didn't want to abide by. Always going to church every day, and things of that nature. And all my peers were going to the mall, and all my friends were going to the mall, and I had to go to church and see Jesus all the time. And I just, I'm just gonna be honest with you. And one day, my friend, a high school friend of mine, shout out to Tiffany, by the way, she calls me up and she's like, she's like, hey, how you doing? Where you been? Da-da-da. I'm just checking on you. I'm like, Tiffany, you haven't been at school. What's been going on with you? And she's like, girl, I'm at Job Corps. Da-da-da. I was like, ooh, dude, tell me more. What's Job Corps? So the way she described it to me was kind of like what Todd was saying. It was like college and high school and military, all of that stuff that she was mentioning to me just screamed freedom, freedom, freedom. And so hearing that at that age, and I'm like, you know what, let me just run this by my parents and see what they think about it. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was going to be a no. I thought it was going to be, excuse my language, no pun intended, I thought it was going to be a hell no.
Yeah.
But they thought it was a great idea. They asked me about it. They kind of was hesitant at first, but they allowed me to kind of make my decision. And at the age of 16, that was kind of a life-changing decision, a great positive life-changing decision for me. So.
Okay. Underserved youth and crime. How did it impact?
I'll start off by saying that the underserved youth, without Gary Job Corps, there's a lot of kids that would have no direction. They wouldn't know how to utilize their talents. They wouldn't learn more skills to be more successful people. A lot of times when people aren't as educated, they don't have as many options. Gary Job Corps gives them all the options needed. Speak which, you could even go to college for free on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could have went to
You know how
college.
much college universities cost?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are $100,000 in debt, and you guys can get it for free.
Yeah. I tried to go to the college program.
Okay.
Yeah. Job Corps, man, as far as like dealing with crime and stuff like that, man, there are a lot of troubled kids all over the world. We'll talk about this country, but over here in the United States, man, youth crime has risen so high. These kids out here, man, they have no direction. Right?
Why do you think that is?
Mentorship.
Yeah, mentorship.
I think there has not been a lot of mentorship as it used to be whenever we were all growing up. It used to be a point in time, and I'm sorry for
No, you're cool. It's cool.
I do apologize for that. It used to be a point in time where, you would see a child, and I mean, even running around in the store and be like, hey, where's your mom? Where's your parents? Where's your, where's your guardian?
Okay.
And they may tell you, they may not tell you, or whatever the case is, but it was more of a compassionate versus, oh, I'm going to hinder you. Now people are quick to pull out their phones and be like, look at me, look at me, look at me, instead of figuring out what's the root of the problem.
Okay.
There used to be a point in time, if you get in trouble at school, well, before you even get home, the neighbor knows about it, your auntie knows about it, your uncle knows about it. You've already been kind of semi-chastised before you even get home to mama because everyone knows about it, and they brought you in and talked to you. Hey, young man, what's been going on at school? What's been going on at home? Let me help you. Let me try to figure out what's going on versus scolding you or hounding you or things of that nature. You already have some type of guidance before you get back home.
And then like programs like Job Corps, the YMCA, you see a lot of YMCAs are shutting down.
True.
All around the nation. Now Job Corps are shutting down. You have other recreational parks that are shutting down. Like she was saying, I could touch bases on that as far as in the community. Those rec centers and those community centers, those are important for the youth. You have youth sports, you have after school programs. Some of them are daycares for some parents, because some parents aren't getting off of work in time enough. So when I look at everything as far as youth crime and the impact that it's having on society today, the children of tomorrow are being ignored. I believe they're getting either 60 or either 40% of their parenting from home. Most of it is through
television,
most
media.
of it is through nutrition. Like most parents today, they don't cook 2 or 3 meals only.
Well,
really.
it is exceptionally expensive.
Yeah,
To buy groceries. I mean, the $100, $200 that you used to spend on groceries has now been reduced to almost $50 for a family of 2-3 people.
So now you have all these rec centers and community centers that are shut down. So where the kids are going to go? Because they can't go to the parks because the neighborhood guys are hanging out at the parks. So where do the kids go? Now they're outside. They have nothing to do, no sense of direction. You know what I mean? So they're gonna do mischievous things. So crime happens from children not having the opportunity to go to places like Job Corps.
I think you touched on something very important here. If you could speak, and like I said, I know you guys didn't want to touch on any of the administrations for the presidency or anything like that. I'm gonna touch on it. This is my platform, and I'm uncensored. If you were able to look at Donald Trump, President Trump right now, what would you tell him about Job Corps?
He's making a big mistake.
Yeah.
He's making a tremendous mistake. I'm pretty sure I'm one out of the million of people who said the same thing. Now, I understand there are certain things that need to be adjusted, altered, or even looked at through a microscope to make sure, the next process goes correctly. But this right here, you're messing with you're messing with our future's future.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you're messing with our future's future, and again, we don't want to go back more than what we're already, at this point.
Understood.
And again, I'm sounding like Whitney Houston at this point. I believe the children are the future, and at first I didn't understand that at one point in time, but again, it's going to be a point in time where the baton has to be passed down, and you have to look at it. I mean, yeah, right now it's not affecting you, but 15, 20 years from now, I mean, we get old, so.
Wow.
And they say it takes a village to raise kids. Gary Job Corps was that village.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what? Just hearing you guys' story, I believe that. I do.
Well, he said he want to make America great again, right? And he want us to be more hands-on to build his country back up. You need vocational trade to do that.
I can agree to that.
Job Corps is the hub and the foundation
I
for
think millions of
vocational
Americans
trade.
can actually agree
It's
with that.
it's so many people that learn something from Job Corps, and it's guys that might not step up and want to speak about it. It's some people that's not proud of Job Corps like others. I'm proud. I still have my class ring.
Wow, really?
So I'm one of the few that have a class ring. I was one of the top students, but when I look back at it, if we're going to make America great again, and they want to provide jobs. You want to provide jobs to guys who can take care of the job. They can do the job, and that's what Job Corps is for.
Essential.
It's
Okay.
essential.
Yeah.
I have to, excuse me, it's a little touching to me because I get to hear your story, and I think about coming from Chicago, all the children that I saw that were lost, that didn't have directions, that may not have any parents in the home.
You know what I was crazy at Job Corps. That was my boy.
I want to hear about it now. You
Oh, that was
didn't
my boy.
said it now.
I had to assist someone help in Chicago. He had an incident, and they had to basically come in and tame him down and calm him down and kind of restrain him a little bit and talk to him and stuff like that. And after that day, he had a very successful career.
I would tell you, in reference to Chicago, places like Chicago, L.A., Detroit, Miami, New York, Philadelphia. A lot of children suffer from PTSD and don't even know they have PTSD. And I'm saying this because we go to the military, right? I'm military. We go there and you don't realize how dysfunctional you are
Until you get
until you get there.
yeah. Job Corps will
And I'm going to
that.
share this very quick, small thing with you guys. I've never had white friends because Chicago is segregated. So I got paired. My battle buddy was a white guy, about 6'5", almost 300 pounds. He's a big guy. I don't know what to say to him. I don't know how to converse with this particular person, with this soldier.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, cause the only time I've ever seen white people in Chicago was if they were coming to arrest somebody or kick them out their apartment or their house or sell you something. That was it.
Job Corps is international. You got kids from all over.
And that's great.
It's not just kids from America. You have an international program with Job Corps. So you had kids coming from Russia and stuff like that. I met kids from other countries
Get out of
that
town.
never had been to America.
And how did they hear about Job Corps?
It's a government.
It's a governmental
It's
program.
a program. So if you coming in, I guess on a visa, they were bringing kids in. So you're gonna socialize and you're gonna get your skills up because you're dealing with everybody. And I coming where I come from, I did not like white people.
I learned how to cook from one of my Oriental friends. At Job Corps. I'm not gonna lie to you. I learned how to cook.
Wow.
I can't remember the dish exactly, but it had something to do with noodles. Noodles was very
Lo
popular.
mein? Was it lo mein? I like
It was lo mein, and in my case, I used romaine. So I had to substitute. I had a little budget. I had a little allowance. So, but they showed me the ingredients and things of that nature. So that was one of my first well prepared dishes at the age of 16.
And then we also had Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah,
So
wow.
being
That
from
impact-
Texas,
impact
I had
us.
never met nobody from Louisiana until Hurricane Katrina.
So
Really?
all of those kids came.
Yeah.
How
were-
many? You know what I mean?
The whole half the city was in Job Corps.
Wow.
Yeah, New Orleans was there.
Yeah,
for
New
sure.
Orleans was there.
How was that interaction between Texas and
It was a beef at first.
It was definitely a beef. It was definitely a beef. But we had pretty much the campus that we were at. We had
Texas versus Louisiana.
Texas versus Louisiana versus Mississippi.
Mississippi, yeah.
So we had to figure it out really quick. But at the end of the day, the thing that brought us all together is the main thing. We all were there for a reason and a
yeah.
purpose.
Now we all.
do you
So-
guys still
we all
Absolutely.
Mississippi come down, Louisiana. We all
Absolutely.
get together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish I could have some of them here.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
was calling them like, "Hey, look, we going on live." Yeah,
Yeah,
we still
so-
communicate.
Wow.
Yeah, this is from class of 2004. I'll even put 2003 to 2003 to 2006.
I want
So
to clear up something. I didn't like white people then, but I love y'all now. But my instructor for my trade, I mentioned it before, Margaret White. She was an older white lady, and she's very dear to me. She still keeps in touch with me today. She still mentors me. She still works with me from a distance. So everything I post, she likes. She DMs me. She texts me encouraging words still to this day, 20 years later.
And I can honestly say Gary got rid of that racial divide.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay.
absolutely, there was no such thing as race. I mean, we might have had dorm battles, whatever dorm you were in.
Yeah,
We
that
might have
was-
had
that
dorm
was-
battles. But when it came to race or anything, and when I say dorm battles, I mean who has the best dorm,
Yeah.
who
Okay.
represents.
It's a healthy competition.
Yes,
Yeah, it was
it's
healthy
healthy.
competition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
healthy
it was friendly
competition. Like
fight,
who has the
always.
funnest dorm, who has the cleanest dorm,
G Unit.
who has the
We had
the
freestyle battles too,
the
but
ones that
yeah.
freestyle.
Oh, yeah.
But it was never any type of issue when it came to race or segregation of
Yeah.
any nature.
So we actually all looked out for each other in so many
That's
different
really
ways.
good.
Yeah.
Let's look at this here. It says Job Corps as a second chance. I know we touched on crime, but how did it affect maybe even you as giving you a second chance on life? Or even if you know another classmate or, something like that they've been affected.
You know what?
I know.
Oh, go ahead. I'll
Oh,
let you.
Thank you. I know plenty of people that have successfully completed the program,
Okay.
that have, how can you say it? And I'm not going to make it a everybody successful type ordeal, because some
Understood.
people have successfully completed the program and went out to the same environment, and of
There's
course
some
they
people- there's some people
they
that
were
didn't make it.
yeah, they didn't make it, unfortunately. My godbrother was one of those individuals. He completed the program, however, went back to his same product or whatever the case is, and unfortunately with the wrong crowd, and rest in heaven to him at this point. but again, most of the people that I know, most of my classmates and things, they have completed the program, got something out of it, very successful as far as their career, their lifestyle. I mean, like I said, I'm even a product of it, to be honest with you. If you would have told me back then, 20 years, that I was going to be doing what I'm doing as far as serving the community and educating individuals about voters' rights, being a community leader, I wouldn't have believed you.
I say that
I wouldn't have
all the
believed
time.
you at all.
I never thought in a million years that I
Never.
own multiple businesses.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Never
That
thought.
is something.
Especially multiple barbershops. One shop has 16 chairs, the other have 8. Me and my brother are working on a smoke shop. Like, it's like I never thought in a million years.
Wow.
And I got 30 vending machines, and I'm an artist. I still
And so
drink
your
snacks.
income is like passive. It's just trickling in as you just wake up in the morning.
I'm actually in the process of retiring this year. I haven't announced it yet, but I'm retiring at 41
Well, you
years
just
old.
announced it now.
Yeah. Breaking news.
That is, yes, it is. And I'll tell you, man, first of all, congratulations to you. Because not everybody can say, I'm retiring at 40. They have raised the retirement age to almost 70.
Yeah, I'm done with hair.
Wow.
I'm ready to do other things.
You thinking about teaching?
I'm thinking about media.
Okay.
About media. I would rather teach right here because this is where the kids are at. They on the phones, technology. I want to have a curriculum through media.
Great. What about you, sir?
My end game is starting a label.
Okay.
I want to start a label where basically you could say I reverse engineer the label, where basically artists don't have to come in with money. They'll make money with the label, and
Okay.
then unfortunately they'll take the money that they make from the label and spend for certain services in the label.
Okay.
In which case we get to keep up with your money, but at the same time we could show, if we had to go to court, we could show where you spent your money. You know, that's just
Okay.
one side to protect us.
Understood.
But for the most part, that's my end game.
Okay. What about you?
My end game?
Yeah.
My end game is continue doing what I'm doing now, but of course elevation a little bit more. Like I said before, the Job Corps has been a great. It's blossomed my life completely. That's all I could really keep saying. It's like the next thing closest to God, you know.
Wow.
For real, so serious. Like I said, I'm a community leader, community advocate, media personality. The list goes on. Actress, entertainer, things of that nature. I got blessed with my day in the city. It was May 20th.
Yeah.
So I got my day in the city on May 20th. So I'm going to continue to do what I need to do, not only for myself, not only for people's future, but also to my community. This is where it started. So, and the nation as well too. I mean, again, you got to keep on watering the seeds. But I believe God has more in store for me. So as long as I'm here, I got to do what I need to do.
That's one thing that Job Corps leaves an imprint on you. You don't put a cap or a ceiling on yourself.
Okay.
Job Corps teaches you to have multiple arms on the branch. So, like he was saying earlier, like how, you can't just touch bases on one thing. You have to learn so many different things. Job Corps is going to start from the bottom with you in whatever trade that you're doing. And you're going to learn every single thing about it. So, you're constantly climbing. So, in life, once you get into the work field or society, you still have that because the training that they give you.
Even now, it still taught me not to be the middleman in a situation.
Yeah.
Wow.
I fix my own cars. I change my own oil. Speak which,
I'm everything.
I'm everything.
I'm everything. I'm my secretary.
I'm a jack of all trades.
Right.
Business and office and technology. I built my own website. I created my own logo. I do everything.
Right.
Okay.
You got to sink and swim.
Yeah,
Sink or swim at that.
You
at
got to
this
be
point.
able to do everything.
And Job Corps is kind of like that cushion before you actually enter life.
Okay.
It's like that entry level before you get to real life. So if you want to play around, that's not the
That's not the
opportunity.
place.
Yeah, that's not the opportunity.
You're gonna be taught to be corporate. You're gonna taught to be the blue collar guy, and you're gonna also be taught to be the owner. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you're gonna be taught in every aspect of whatever you're trying to do.
Makes you kind of like a complete
Because,
person.
so say you want to be a welder, they're not going to just teach you how to be a welder, they're going to teach you how to run the company. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? But you're going to also know how to be a welder okay,
You're a
on the
worker
company
and a leader.
Yeah, so yeah, they're gonna break you down and then build you all the
And
way
if
back.
they don't teach you that way, there's going to be a classmate or a friend that you find that's already going to be at level 10 while you're behind, and they're going to make you.
Yeah, come
if
on.
you want to hang with me,
Yeah, come on.
you got to
That's
do.
good.
Yeah, you're going to have to level up, sir.
But let me ask you, Mr. Todd, to the youth, if you were able to say anything to the youth right now, whether it be about Job Corps or just life in general, what would you say?
I thought about this question a long time because I deal with youth all the time, and I came to this conclusion with one of my clients recently. One of the main things I would like to tell the youth is consistency. A lot of successful people do not talk about consistency. It's a lot of people have easy routes to the top or hard routes to the top. It doesn't matter how you get there; it's how you finish and how you stay there. So that is the hardest part about being successful. You get there, you make it to the top, and it's like, okay, now I'm here. What I do now? You got to stay there. And that is the thing that I think that most people don't understand is that during the process of your consistency, you have to have balance. If you don't have balance of a healthy lifestyle, which is eating right, working out, traveling, spending time with your loved ones, and basically having self-time to yourself, those are the things that I do to keep me consistent, the balance.
What about you, sir?
Take advantage of the opportunities given to you. That's what I would really tell the youth. And then also, don't be scared to try something new.
Yeah.
A lot of times I took 2 trades. I took security and I took CST, computer service technician. And I had went to San Antonio straight after Gary, even though I was working at a job in St. Marcus for CST, for computer service technician, and there was no jobs. So I ended up going in the security field. If it hadn't been for security, I wouldn't have made any money. There was no jobs in San Antonio with computers at the time when I was down there.
Wow.
And I applied for a lot of them. I applied for the Toyota factory back then that they had because they were looking for technicians. Never got hired. But because I took 2 trades, one trade popped off and I was able to still make money and support myself.
There's a lot of kids like that.
So, even though I will say this, because I was a partier. I was supposed to be there 6 months. I stayed there 2 years.
Man, I cried. I didn't want to leave.
But I will say this, though. I did gain a lot of knowledge in that 2 years that I was there.
Okay.
And then I ain't gonna lie, as soon as my partying buddies started leaving, I was like, you know what, I gotta start making something of myself. I gotta start finding a strategic method to get where I need to be in life. You know, I didn't want to go back and live with my mom after Gary, and I didn't.
Me either, bro.
I had got my own apartment, car. Too. This is gonna be a funny story to tell. But in San Antonio, you know how they had the Goodwill?
Mm-hmm.
You know how people were putting out furniture?
Yeah.
I was coming to collect that good furniture and put it in my apartment before I even got there.
Wow.
Shouldn't have said that, but
No, it is what it is. I'd rather you tell the truth than a lie.
But the thing about it was when people were putting out furniture before the Goodwill could actually get it, I took advantage because it was free, and that's how I was putting furniture in my apartment, because I couldn't afford it back then.
Okay.
So the good thing about it is I came up off a lot of advantages. Now I ain't gonna lie, as I got older, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I taking from the Goodwill? And then that's another thing too. Gary Job Corps also stopped me from doing that. I kept trying to take the path of doing something right after I did something wrong. And that's another thing I want to say about Gary, because once you're offered a way to do something right that doesn't make it where you risk your freedom, you'll stay on that path.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I feel like for the kids that have done wrong, no judgment to any of those kids, because I'm pretty sure whatever they had to do, what they had to do. But if you offer them a path to a right path without having a Gary Job Corps for them to do the right path,
Yeah,
They'll take it.
They'll take it.
They'll take it.
It goes back to mentorship.
Kids
You
just need an opportunity.
opportunity and a good person to a good-hearted person to kind of bring you in and be like, hey, you don't have to do this. I understand where you're coming from. I may not have been there, but I could try to put myself in your shoes. But you don't have to do this.
But what advice would you give the youth?
I would definitely give them that advice.
Okay.
Also, just having that support. it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, having that support and that team. And sometimes you don't get that. Sometimes, sometimes you're just a one man pony. But having that support within yourself and not giving up on your dreams, on your aspirations,
Absolutely.
on what your goals are. I know it's easier said than done. Sometimes we look at things and we look at our peers and we look at our the influencers or celebrities, and we see nothing but lights and glitter and gold and things of that nature. Well, they had to go through something to get that. They had to go through hell to get that. Literally, they had to go through pure hell to get that. But at the end of the day, it's better. It's better. And again, it's like he said, you got to keep yourself at the top. You can't just look at it like, hey, it's a success. Success doesn't always end up in money. Success is what you make of it.
What's your social Instagrams and social media? I'm sorry.
Social media.
My social media is The Barber Collection. You can find me at TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and also YouTube and Facebook as well.
Okay.
And for me, all my social media is on Google, so you could Google Silent to the Mouth. Just Google me. You'll find all social media, Spotify, music, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
And again, I Miss Mimi Money, MISSMEMEMONEY on Facebook. I'm sorry, on Instagram. Facebook, now there's a funny story about Facebook. I love telling this story every time. So my last name is Money. Facebook does not believe my last name is Money for whatever reason. So I had to kind of play with the words a little bit, okay? So it's M-E, I think it's MEMMEMONEY, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I had
She
to
ain't
play.
hard to find.
Yeah, I'm not hard to find. Of course, you can always follow me on my my social media platform at 95.3 Jams Radio, because I am a media personality as well. 95.3 Jams. That's 95.3 Jams with a Z on all social media platforms as well too. So y'all can find me Miss Mimi Money, MISSMEMEMONEY.
Just want to take the time out to say thank you for viewing this particular episode here. My name is Michael Thurville of VEDA Communications LLC, photojournalist and sociologist. Thank you.